Hello and welcome to Beyond the Finish Line, episode 40, the podcast for runners of every pace, every distance, and every goal. I am your co-host, Georgia. I am a 5-time marathon runner, a content creator, and I am the other half of the Performance Project with our coach, Matt. On today's episode, we are answering all of your burning questions, everything from heart rate, cadence, injuries, summer training, your goals, personal dilemmas, and even what races we have our eye on for next year. But before we get into that, I'll introduce you to my co-host, Coach Matt. He is a 5-time Ironman ultramarathon runner, and he is the founder of the Performance Project, Australia's largest growing endurance community. How are you going, Matt?
Outstanding, Georgia. I love how Georgia, if everyone who was just listening, Georgia had a real dilemma pre-intro. She was like, I can't remember how I do my intro. It was like Ricky Bobby on Talladega Nights, like, what do I do with my hands? And he keeps bringing them into shot.
And then it's like it
you
came
just went
back
into
to
it.
me,
Yeah,
straight back into it.
as soon as we clicked record, you just hit it. So that was just, I thought it was so funny. I was like, I wonder if she's actually forgot.
I know. And we were actually talking because I was like, I'll try and do something different. I'll see if I can take a leaf from Matt's book and be like, what's up, guys? And then I was like, that does not feel good.
I love how you go, what's up, guys? I've literally never said what's up, guys. Not once.
You always are like, g'day, guys, or something, guys. And I was like, trying to be all different but cool.
I just talk, Georgia. I just talk.
I know. And then here I'm trying to do mine and I'm like losing breath. So if you actually really concentrate, you can hear me like almost passing out during the intro.
You think about it too much. You just got to talk. You talk for a living. You do social media.
I know. Nah, look, I actually didn't think too hard then. I just tried my best.
Maybe if you held a camera in front of you, like your phone in front of you, you would just talk normally.
Probably. Just tuck it on when you go on Instagram and you can do like hands free and it only gives you 60 seconds. Give me that and I will nail it.
You'll nail it first time. Yep.
Oh, how's your week been, Coach Matt?
A bit of a mixed week, but not too bad. Just still getting in some solid training and whatnot. We're sort of 5 weeks out now from Kosci 100, so things are starting to ramp up on the training side.
What does that look like for you? What's ramping up?
We did 116 kilometers this week, Sunday to Sunday, so that's decent. Now it's like really sort of, and I did 85 over 4 days. So like really trying to like condense that running period. But it's starting to turn into big back-to-back runs. So Saturday was 24 kilometers of hills, and then Sunday was like 32, 34 of trail running. So just those Saturday, Sunday sessions get longer and longer and harder.
Yeah, I've noticed you're getting quieter and quieter in our chat. Like I can tell on the weekends you're very busy running because I don't hear from you.
Yeah. I'm just Saturday and Sundays are just running like it's 10, 12 hours of running.
Yeah. And this is how much Matt and I don't talk about our personal lives. We actually just worked out we both had weddings on the same day in like the same suburb of like, what is that? It's Port Stephens.
Yeah, Port Stephens,
yeah. Just near where Matt lives, kind of near Newcastle. I was like, yeah, I was at a wedding. And he's like, oh, okay, where was it? And I was like, oh, it's Soldiers Point. He's like, oh, it was around the corner. We just don't talk about
less than a 5-minute walk from one another.
Yeah. We just don't talk about our personal lives. It's just like, yeah, cool. You're going to a wedding? Sick.
Yeah. I didn't even, Sam told me you were at a wedding. I didn't even know you were at a, you did tell me you were at a wedding.
Yeah, no, I did because I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to go with training. And then you told me to take the weekend off and I was like, are you okay?
Yeah, that's right.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, it all blurs into one, exactly that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's just, I'm just in the hurt locker a bit at the moment. So everything's going on and we're off to training camp tomorrow for our triathlete, Performance Project triathletes. So that'll be 5 days of some pretty big training volume as well. So that'll be good.
That's up the coast, isn't it?
Tamworth.
Oh, I don't know why I keep thinking it's up the coast. It's actually really far up the coast.
Inland, yeah. It's because Ironman Western Australia camp. So it's like, how do we replicate those conditions? So long, flat, hot, windy roads is what we needed. And that's Tamworth.
Fun.
Yeah, 30. It's going to be 35 and 37 degrees out there most of the week, so it'll be good.
Dear, I hope everyone watching this on YouTube is enjoying my facial expressions right now because I'm
Mate,
like,
that gets me
yeah,
excited. A 35-degree training day, Mickey Mouse.
I love that for you, not for me.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Very
How about you,
good.
Georgia? How are you doing?
I'm fine. Just nothing really happening in my life right now. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, God, I've just really got nothing happening right now. Yeah, I think I'm about 4 and a bit weeks out from Wagga Half Marathon, which will be hot and flat and probably boring, but that's okay. I'm doing that for a bit of fun. And yeah, then as you guys know, I signed up to my triathlon for next year. So got my bike, got my helmet on the weekend. I bought some gear from Sue Mom or something. Yeah, another cycling brand. I don't know. I have friends that wear it and it was pretty cheap. So I was like, oh, that'll do. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It's like all this gear you've got to get, and then it's like the bike and you've got to try and I don't know anything about bikes. So it's a little bit confronting. I have to take it to a bike shop to get them to give it a service because I don't know if it's like working properly or I wouldn't even know how to change a tire. So should
You'll
be
be right.
interesting.
You'll be right.
It'll be fine. Like, I'm just so nonchalant about the whole thing. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, it'll
So,
be fun.
yeah,
I
no,
can
I
come
really,
down to Sydney and do some triathlon sessions. It'll be good.
yeah, I'm excited for that. I've been going to the pool every Monday. So after we record this, I'll head down to the pool and do my laps and I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, nothing to report. I had a great weekend and had the weekend off from running and feeling ready to tackle the next week ahead.
Yep. So Ironman soon, or
I actually can't wait to release my video about this triathlon that I'm doing because it's just all of the comments from everyone being like, Ironman? And I love that it's the jump from like marathon to Ironman. There's no like, oh, you're going to do a sprint? Like, I don't know. It's weird feeling. I feel like everyone's like, oh, you're just doing a sprint. I'm like, come
I
on.
feel like the majority of people don't even know all the distances in triathlon. They're just like, they think Ironman's the only option.
Yeah, it seriously feels like that. I feel like everyone's like, oh, so you're doing an Ironman? I'm like, no, that is like actually hectic. Like, it's really full on. So yeah, no, I'm doing my sprint, which is 750 meters swim, a 20K bike ride and a 5K run.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, perfect. Okay, good. I actually did look this up. And I'm not diving in too blind, but yeah, I'm excited.
To be fair, you could handle doing an Olympic pretty comfortably, but yeah, sprint just for the mental confidence side of things.
I think so. Look, if the sprint is super easy, amazing. That's like best case scenario. And then I can jump into an Olympic. That's, let's take it easy.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, you've got such a good running base that like it'll transfer over.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Look, I've seen so many people training for half Ironmans and stuff. And besides the swim distance, I think I definitely know I could tackle that. It's one of those things where you're just like, if you put the training in, I know I could do it. But I'm like, I want to respect the distances like you do in running, like you don't just jump straight into a marathon from nothing. So I want to make sure I'm respecting that.
Yeah. And I think obviously you and I have spoken about this off mic, but I think it's a very important thing that people need to respect endurance and those distances, whether that is full marathon or full Ironman, because just because you can do half, and we talk about this in the marathon distance, like half a marathon isn't 21 kilometers, it's like 28 to 32.
Yeah.
It's like, same with Ironman, like just because you can do a half Ironman, like it's about 4 times the amount of work to do the full. So
yeah,
it's not just that linear step up, it's exponential.
Yeah, look, and no shade to anyone who's jumping straight into a full Ironman. I commend you.
I
but
did.
Not
to
for
be
me.
fair, I did that. My first triathlon was a full Ironman.
See, I'm not surprised.
No,
You've
but
learned
like
your lesson though.
Yeah, I didn't know what I didn't know.
Mm.
I just was like, I'm going to go do that. So.
All right, let's jump into some listener questions. I have so many questions for you today, Matt. Well, and for me as well. But let's be honest, a lot of these questions, people are coming for your expertise. So we're going to start off strong with some kind of beginner-friendly questions. We have one here from Lana that says, do you need a Garmin if you run 1 to 2 times per week if you wanted to start running a half marathon later in the year? I'm going to say no as well. Definitely don't need a Garmin.
It would just run based off time. You could set a stopwatch on your phone for that first 3 months or whatever, until you start getting to 3 or 4 times a week. Even then, you don't need a Garmin. You could just get a very basic sports watch that had distance on it. Like heaps of watches have GPS on it that aren't as expensive as a Garmin.
Yeah, definitely. If you were wanting something a little bit more fancy, you could go your Apple Watch, or I mean, Garmin do a similar version called the Venu, which is or Venue. It's a good little one. You can do a bit of everything on that. So at least you're not just jumping into a running specific watch. But yeah, you could use Strava on your phone. That's another thing. Just press start run, or
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, there's heaps of apps out there. So
Yeah, heaps of running apps. So yeah, way better options. You don't need anything to start running. You just need a pair of shoes. Fucking get out there and go. You don't need heart rate monitor. You don't need tech. You just need a way of recording it, and that can be as basic as a stopwatch and a pen and paper.
oh dear, that's funny.
What? You Monday ran 30 minutes. Wednesday ran 30 minutes.
Stopwatch.
Cool.
With a piece of, I can just imagine you with your little clicker.
Your phone has a stopwatch on it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't actually have to use an old school track.
Don't actually go and buy a pocket watch on a chain. I could just tap it.
Okay, question here from Lucy. How do I increase my cadence as a slower runner? My cadence is currently 155.
So there's a bunch of like cadence drills you can do. There's heaps of things on YouTube. I do think cadence is something that's a little bit blown up I don't hear a lot about it in social media, but it's definitely talked about in social media where like you need to run 180 and that's the golden number. It's like I run in like the mid to high 160s. I'm pretty efficient. Nick, George's partner, runs about the same as me, maybe slightly higher, and he just ran a 3:26 marathon.
Yeah.
He's also, what's Nick, 6'2", 6'3"?
No, just 6, I think.
Okay, we're about the same height then.
But like, if you look at me, I'm short, well, not short, average, 168, and my cadence is like 170 something. But I've got little legs, so like they've got to go fast.
Yeah, exactly. So like, so much of it is down to body mechanics. So, if you do want to improve cadence, there's drills on YouTube. There's also apps that like, if you have a Garmin, you can set cadence on your Garmin and it'll buzz as you run. But don't get caught up in you have to run 180. Like you need to find a cadence that is comfortable for you. 150 is definitely on the slower side of average. So I would try and get up to like 160, but like don't think you've got to go from 155 to 180.
How do you feel about metronomes? Metronomes, that's what they're called, right?
Yeah.
Is that a good tool?
Yeah, they're really a great tool. It's exactly what they click into your Garmin or any of those apps. It's just a metronome. All metronome is just a beat on pace. Like it's just
like a tick, 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 right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
A bit like what pianists use and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do. Guitar players, all of them use it. It's all just the same thing. Yeah, it's right as long as it's going to the right number.
Yeah. I've heard people talk about using like playlists and stuff that are like 160, 170 beats. Is that a thing to like?
I think it's pretty rogue. Like you have to be so switched into the beat to like you're listening to music, then you've got to make sure you're on the beat, and then your feet have got to do the beat. I think that's just like it's a lot going on.
It's a lot. I know. I'd be so stressed.
Yeah, I think you would zone in and out way too much personally. I would just stick to like the tried and true metronomes. Like that's all of those apps, Garmin, all that is a metronome. All that just a different word for it. So I would just run on a metronome.
Cool. Hannah's asked, how do I get my HR down? Like your heart rate for those listening at home.
If they're not up to the lingo.
I actually sent that episode to my friend the other day and I was like, please listen to this before you ask me any more questions.
Resting heart rate, or I'm assuming resting heart rate?
No, I would say that is how do I get my heart rate down on runs? Like I say, a zone 2.
Run easier.
Run easier. Listen to last week.
Yeah. Run easier. If you're struggling to keep your heart rate down, you are running too fast. That's literally what heart rate is. Heart rate is an unbiased way of dictating effort. And that's why we use heart rates, because like you can't lie, you can't bullshit it. So if you can't keep it down, you are running too hard. And if slowing down doesn't work, walk until it comes under control and then start running slower again.
Yeah. Some tips that I use is don't talk when you run, don't do it at run club, get a good night's sleep, have lots of water, don't run when it's hot, don't listen to anything too fast. Podcasts are really helpful. Don't film and run like I do. These are all things that really help me get my heart rate down, but I've definitely managed to get mine down a bit. It just takes time. So you just need to be patient because it's definitely not going to come down in a month. Like mine's taken a year to pretty much come like right down. So yeah. It's like, okay.
I don't disagree with any of that.
Yeah. We're going to pump through the questions today, guys, because we had so many of them.
Yeah, we got a lot.
There's a lot, which we love. We love your questions. And some of them, if you've been listening from the start, you'll probably be like, oh, you guys have already answered this, which is so true. A lot of these questions we get a lot of the same kind of question, but it is helpful for those who are just jumping in now. They might want to hear it or a different perspective. You know, Matt and I have both got different experiences since a lot of these episodes.
And we're always changing our opinion on things based on new information, new data, new experiences, etc.
Yeah, so if we are repeating ourselves, we're sorry, but lots of people ask the same question. So stick with us. There's some really good ones here. Kelly has asked, tips for adjusting to summer training. My ego hates how much my pace slows when it's hot. Matt, your thoughts?
You just get stuck in. How good? How good's training in the heat? It's the best. Yeah. Realistically, unless you're training in the absolute heat of the day and it is 30 degrees plus, your heart rate isn't going to move a huge amount. It's not going to be moving 5, 8, 10 beats. It's moving maybe 3, right? If we're being fair dinkum. If you're finding like quite a big movement in heart rate, like your chances are you're just not as accustomed to that zone 2 training, and you're probably just looking for an excuses for why you are running, why your heart rate is not playing the game. So just more zone 2 training. You'll be fine.
Yeah, totally. Look, and that's me. I'm always like, it's too hot. I can't do it.
You'll
so
be
don't
fine.
worry. I feel you there. You just got to kind of put the ego aside and don't even worry about it. But yeah, if you just got to stop more and have some water or take like a little hand flask with you if that's the issue, that you're super thirsty or, you know, you're just really hot, just try and manage it where I have.
I will say this. There is like, we have had a particularly brutal start to the warmer periods. So like we didn't get that gradual incline into spring. It kind of went from cold to like, you know, it's 30 plus degrees this week. There can be a bit of a acclimatization period, like same as like if you were to go on holidays and you go to Fiji or, you know, somewhere that's hot, Bali, whatever, flying, you're like, holy shit, it's hot. And then like a week later, you're like, it's not too bad. There is that. But again, like the chances of it having a huge effect on heart rate, I wouldn't be overly concerned, but it might just take 2-3 weeks for you to just go, okay, like it's hot, but I can deal with it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. The next question is all around Sydney Marathon. It comes from Emma. She wants to know, how does she plan out for Sydney? Does she start with a base building phase, aim for a fast 5, or just maintain until then?
I mean, Sydney's a long way away. Cool. So I think we find out results Sydney next week or the week after.
I think it only just closed, so I think the week after, because there's like a staggered how they do it anyway.
Okay, whatever it is. Let's just say you've got 10 months. We really wouldn't start marathon training until maybe March, April, May, June, July. That's 6 months. Like that's a huge block. And that would be only if I was going someone like Georgia, who was like going for a time and like really wanted to dedicate that period of time. You could probably get away with 4 months. So that's 16-week block. Yeah. Honestly, up until now, I'm just base building, trying to get up to sort of that anywhere from 15 to 21 Ks where any day of the week, I can just roll out of bed and run a half marathon and it takes no effect on my life. I could run a half marathon and go to work. Like that's the kind of fitness level I like to get my guys to before they start a block. So that's all I'd be doing. Just heaps of zone 2 work, heaps of threshold work, or VO2 work, depending on how you classify that. But yeah.
Could they look at maybe doing if they're wanting to a bit more structure, like maybe a half marathon training plan? Or is there anything that they could be doing in terms of that, or just like wing it? How do they, if they don't have a coach, how are they planning that out?
Yeah, so base building block, again, just like basic rules of thumb, is 80% zone 2 training and 20% tempo or VO2 work. I wouldn't be too concerned about tempo work this far out. I'd really only sort of start incorporating that into that either 6-month or 16-week window, wherever you sort of sit. If having goals or having races helps motivate you, then sure, you could just break it up into a 5K block, a 10K block, a half marathon block, and then go into a full marathon block. That can be quite taxing because you're just going block to block to block to block. That can take quite a toll, even though the distances are short. Like, you've still got to be on the whole time. A lot of intensity. Personally, yeah, summer is such a good time, and this is just general advice for everyone. If you're going into a base building block now, the more you can train in summer and get your blood plasma, and this is a nerdy thing, but getting your blood plasma levels high, it's like free fitness. Like, the upside of training in the heat is so astronomical, and if you can just tolerate it and get used to it, you'll get massive results for not much work. So just base build until February. That's my advice to everyone. Base build until February.
Love it. That's super helpful. Thank you. Shelby has asked, how do I choose which trail race to do? Matt's like, I don't know.
How long's a piece of string, mate?
Maybe have a look at what ones are around your area.
Yeah, what's local, what interests you? Is there a destination you want to go to? Is there a distance you want to do? Is there a particular challenge? Do you like climbing? Do you like technical? Do you like single trail? Like, there are so many different things to consider with that. Like, that's such a broad question.
I feel like those sort of things that you just mentioned, though, are really interesting. Like, obviously having a look at the course profile, what kind of trail it is. Is it wider? Is it single
trail?
Single trail, thank you. Yeah, look at it, like, is it super, super steep? And you're like, oh, I don't think I'm ready for super steep.
Elevation, yep.
Yeah, have a look at how popular the race is too, because sometimes people forget to consider things like how much is the accommodation going to cost you. Like, I know obviously UTA in the Blue Mountains, accommodation absolutely skyrockets. If you don't want to, Matt's doing the money symbol.
I'm broke.
Yeah, like, if you don't want to be paying a ton of money for accommodation, that's something to consider as well. Maybe do a lesser known trail run. Lots of things, especially even like Kosci 100, Kosci 50, all that kind of stuff. Jindabyne is an expensive place to stay. So they're all things to consider when you're signing up. How much is the course registration? That's another big one.
Yeah. Like, and it should, what do you want to do? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, even if money isn't your limiting factor, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do something local? Do you want to go somewhere? Is it one you want to do with all of your friends? Do you want to go and challenge yourself and do 100 miles? Like, so many different things to consider, but you just got to find out what you want to do and then work it out.
Yeah, I get, and it also applies like if you're signing up for any running, like road races as well, all of those same things apply. Yeah. So handy for those who are looking for their next race. Joshua has said, loving the pod. Thank you, Josh. Slower pace runner here. When you have a limited time to train, is it better to do zone 2 runs or high intensity to get a better overall endurance for 50K trail runs? For example, if I can do 2 sessions a week.
You want to run 50Ks off 2 sessions. That's a big ask. Joshy, mate. Fair dinkum. That's a tough one. If you've got 2 sessions a week, and if one of them is not, you do not have the ability to run sort of 4+ hours, that's an issue. My answer is almost always zone 2. It's like, when in doubt, zone 2 it out. Like, that's my default.
I need to get that on a t-shirt.
When in doubt, zone 2 it out, baby. The thing with trail running is the majority of the time, not majority, maybe half the time you're running. Other half you're hiking, other half you're going down hills, other half you're trying to go for quite technical things, and it's not really running. It's kind of like a shuffle. So I just zone two to your heart's content.
Yeah, especially if you're trail running, you're not really thinking about pace. So there's no real point doing super speed sessions if it's not going to be useful on the trails.
Yeah, the only argument I would have for doing speed work is like when you're doing, and depends on the trail run you're doing if there's a lot of climbing, but like when you're climbing, your heart rate gets quite elevated. So having the stronger threshold could help, but I'd be way more concerned about just overall endurance volume, being able to just go from point A to point B rather than like if you're a little bit tired at the top of a hill.
Okay, cool. Perfect. A couple of quick ones. Marie, thoughts on running with and without music on race day?
I don't run with music anytime.
Matt's
so
the wrong person to talk to about this.
Georgia, take it.
So music on race day, I've experienced both. One in terms of a marathon, both no music and music. So I used to think that I should save my music right until the end when I really needed it, and using it kind of like a wild card, use it right at the end when I really, want to push through the hard parts. So I would just do a lot of it not listening to any music. But I recently realized that I do all of my training with music in, and while listening to the crowd is super fun, if I'm trying to focus, I actually find it a lot easier if I'm listening to my favorite songs that I've listened to all through my training block. So I've had the same marathon playlist my entire running journey. So I love putting that on because it feels like home. So if you're not quite sure, just do whatever you do in all of your training, because I love listening to my music. It really helps me. Anytime I wanted to listen to the crowd, I just took my earphones off, or I paused my music, listened to the crowd, and then kept going. But listening with the shocks open ear is really helpful too, because you can still hear everything around you while still having your music in the background.
No headphones in triathlon, Georgia.
Oh no, God. That's okay. It's only 5K.
And the bike.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I feel like I'd be fighting for my life too much on the bike to have music, so it's all right. I'll be like, don't die. Beth has asked, Sonic Blast, Mega Blast, or Nova Blast, running a mix during the week at around 45 Ks total. So, Matt, you like the Nova Blast 5, don't you?
I don't know what the question was. You just listed a bunch of shoes and said a number.
I love that I understood what this meant. So sorry, let me start again. Beth has asked, what shoe I think is what she's asking. What shoe do you recommend? The Sonic by Asics, the Sonic Blast, the Mega Blast, or the Nova Blast if you're running around 45 Ks per week?
I stand by that the Nova Blast is currently the most versatile shoe in the country. So I think that is the best all-round shoe for just about anyone, whether you're doing speed work, I've worn it on the trails, or a shitload of kilometers, which I did for Ironman prep this year. So
yeah, the Nova Blast 5 is a really awesome shoe. I love it. Sonic Blast and Mega Blast, I only just got in the mail this week. So I'll test them and get back to you, Beth, because I have no idea what they're like. I've heard the Mega Blast is really good in terms of...
Is the Mega Blast the new purple shoe?
Yes, it's the new, better Super Blast is what I've heard. Like, Jog on Craigo was, best shoe I've ever worn.
Yeah, so... I saw Craigo's review of it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know, because I've heard mixed reviews about the Sonic, and I've not tried it. And then, the Mega, I haven't tried either. So, yeah, but it was one of our questions, so I threw it in there. The next question is a little bit longer. This one's from Narelle. What do you think of the jeffing method to run marathons? For context, guys, that is run, walk method. Have you heard... Oh, sorry. I've heard you guys discuss this method and wanted your thoughts on it. Is it possible to run a marathon with a time goal if you're only running 3 times per week? My last marathon time was 4 hours and 4 minutes, and I have an injury, so I have to do the jeffing method to kind of get over the injury and train for my marathon. It's very hard to compress people's questions for a podcast without missing key information and changing their questions completely. So I think what Narelle is asking is, what are our thoughts on the jeffing method, which is the run, walk, and can you have a time goal for a marathon if you're doing this and only running 3 times per week?
Okay, so the run walk is fantastic for new runners or if you're injured and coming back to running. So it's a tried and true method. No issues with that at all. I think that's just a staple for any running coach or anyone doing rehab or anything. Running a time goal, run walk.
A sub 4 one at that.
I'd say extremely, extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
Like if you're fit, like let's actually do the math on this. So you got to run 540Ks. You got to run 42 540Ks. When you walk in Ironman, we call it like the 12-minute shuffle. So like if you're walking, it's generally like about 12-minute pace.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, to keep that super simple, that is half the speed of 540 pace, even though it's a little bit more, but just to keep it simple. That means you would have to run like 450s to make up the difference. So you have to run like a set of 450s and then walk, and then run a set of 450s and then walk. It'd be just way easier to run 540s.
I feel like though Narelle's asking whether or not she can train at the Jeffing method and then go out and run 540 the whole way for race day, is what I took from that. I don't think she would do run walk on the day because that would be very hard to do.
Yeah, but the training's the exact same thing. So
I
am.
I can't imagine doing the last training block and doing run walk for any of my sessions, really. Yes, I stopped a little bit, but I wasn't really run walking those. I'd stop and have a drink of water. And
like that, I guess the difference is like walking. Say if you're like, one of our signature workouts is 3x10K. And if you walked the interval in between the 10K, like, okay, that's fine. Like you're probably at the back end of the 80, 90K run week. Like you're a little bit tired. Like that's fine, but that's not a programmed walk. That's a programmed recovery. Jeffing method is like programmed walking. So it's not like when you do run walks, it's not like, oh, you can walk this. No, you have to walk this. You are limited to walking. So I feel like it'd be a tall order. I'm not saying it's not possible. I've never done it. I've never coached anyone to it. I would need to like really think about that. And like, it would also depend on how much time we had. If we had like a year to do it, then yeah, probably. But then also like, I don't know. I've never done it. So my initial reaction is like tall order.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting because I've never thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah, I've never been presented with that problem before either. Normally, athletes, the closest I've had is an athlete from New Zealand. I coach Alicia, and we really, really tried to like get her to bounce back from an injury to be ready for, or I can't remember if it was Auckland or Queenstown Marathon. But we just decided to pull the pin. We're just like, no, like let's just get you healthy. It's way better, way more important. So
yeah,
that's the closest I've come. And yeah, we just decided it was better to not do it.
Yeah, to wait and then do it properly.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, as someone who's done a marathon injured, it's not fun. If the race isn't like insanely important to you to do, I would highly, like London for me was super important. I couldn't not do that. If it's like another marathon, I guess you just have to consider whether or not it's worth it. And if you can just wait and do it properly.
The injury factor is a whole different thing to consider in terms of, is there long-term repercussions? Are you doing structural damage? Like all of these sorts of things. What are the chances of you, like, I don't know what your injury is, but doing soft tissue damage and midway through the race and just not finishing? Like, is that worth it? So there'd be so many different moving pieces to consider.
Okay. Amazing. Another one with a time goal here. Belle has asked, I've run 2 marathons and want to run my next one in Gold Coast in under 5 hours. My peak mileage for my last marathon was 58 kilometers. I wanted to know if I should be maintaining higher mileage between now and Gold Coast to hold fitness and start my next block off at 58 Ks a week, or would it be better to reduce it and then gradually build it back up before the block begins for Gold Coast?
Yeah, so the first thing I do when I look at that stuff is, number one, you can't, if that was your peak fitness level coming into the previous marathon, it's unreasonable to assume that you will hold that fitness level for an extended period of time. Like that's just not how humans work. We go up and down and up and down and up and down like that. That's how it goes. But let's say hypothetically you could hold 58 kilometers per week. Let's just call it 60 to make it simple. How much more time and how much more do you think your body can handle? Do you think you could handle going to 80, 90 or 100 kilometers a week? Because that is the trajectory that you are on holding 60. If you're at 60 and you can only handle going to 65, you got no room to grow. Like there's no up. And when I say got no room to grow, it's like, do you have the time to allocate to training? Do you have the time to allocate to recovery? It's all the other factors in your life, not necessarily can your body just handle the training volume. So I would encourage you to drop down into the 40s. Most of the Performance Project athletes, they sit anywhere between 30 and 45, and there are good runners in base building off season, and we just focus on making those sessions that they do hit like really, really high quality and making sure like they're absolutely nailing them. And then when it's go time, like we lock in and we start ramping things up. So I would encourage you to drop down to probably around that 40 kilometer mark, and then really, really think about if you got to 60 for your last block, how much further can I push it? And not just for 1 week, not that one peak week, but that peak month, that last month leading into the marathon. Can you hold 60 kilometers every single week? Could you go 60, 62, 65, 68 and like have a whole month at above 60? I'd be looking at it like that.
Yeah, cool. That's super, super, super interesting because, I obviously just get whatever you program me, but it's nice to hear like the thought process behind it and why you do things a certain way. So
there's a method to the madness.
Definitely method to the madness.
Yep.
Okay, next question here is from Mitch. Hey, Matt and Georgia, I luckily got a ballot spot for Tokyo Marathon in March. I know, so jealous. And it'll be my third marathon after running Sydney the past 2 years. I'll be training during Aussie summer for a race that's about 10 degrees at race start time. What should I be factoring into my block so that I can train towards my target goal of 3:30 without getting heat exhaustion along the way? Lots of early runs in the morning, obviously, but any guide on scaling back paces, altering workouts would be super appreciated.
Nah, bro, get after it. Get that free fitness. Get that free fitness, son. I'm such a fan of heat training. Like, it's so, if you can tolerate the heat. Now, I will preface, I am so, like, the heat is my thing.
Freak.
I'm a freak in the heat. Like, it just doesn't affect me at all. I know I am an outlier in that situation. Yeah. I will say, if you can tolerate it, if you can just like be uncomfortable in that situation, the upside is so much higher. And then I wouldn't change anything. I would just do your marathon block. You're an experienced marathon runner. You know what you're doing. I don't know did he say what his previous marathon time was? He just wants to go for 3:30.
Just going for 3:30. So look, even if we assume you had marathon times like Nick, with
so let's
4
say
hours sub 4 kind of thing.
3 high, something like that. You train through summer. The only thing I will say is like get yourself some of those running sleeves that like you'll see professionals run in. Same with like a haptic beanie. That's a great hack because it's like a really thin material, but it just keeps your ears warm, and that's like ears are a temperature regulator. And all you need to do is keep yourself warm until your body temperature catches up and your heart rate catches up. So that might be in the first 5 to 8 kilometers of the marathon. Strip those arm sleeves off, buy cheap ones, buy like the 2xU ones that you can they're like $20, just throw them away. And then just rip in.
Yeah. Don't another stupid thing from me. Don't buy the arm sleeves that have got compression in them. Because I fucking wore those things.
And you couldn't get them off.
My hands were huge. My hands swelled so much. We were on a trail run, Matt and I, and like all of the crew, and I got back and I was like, holy shit, my hands were massive. So I didn't realize that they don't all come. Like you can get actual just thin ones, and I just accidentally bought compression ones from 2xU, and holy shit.
A great hack is if like your a little bit concerned about it being cold is get cycling ones, because they're like more of a wool merino type material rather than the spandex
yeah.
ones, and like they're really, really warm, but they're breathable. So it's a great hack too. I
And
use
not
cycling
suffocating.
ones. Yeah. They also have little grips on the wrists and on the shoulder, like on the upper bicep, so that they don't slide.
Yeah, perfect. And then honestly, if you're wearing a belt, you just like tie them around your belt. That's what I did for London.
Chuck 'em.
Oh, well, come on, let's look after the environment, Matt. We don't just throw them out.
You
You can just tie
donate
them
them
to
to
your belt.
someone. Donate them to a volunteer that you run past.
Just throw your sweaty arm sleeves at them.
Exactly. That's what I would do.
So your advice is just to train through summer, and then when you get to the cold, just wear extra layers until your body heats up.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It's such an advantage. Like there's in triathlon, like it's so well known that like Australians would go over after Aussie summer and go over to Europe and just dominate for like the first 6 weeks, because we were coming out of our summer and they were coming out of winter. If you have heat on your side, it is just such an unfair advantage. So if you can tolerate that summer training and really get some good kilometers in the heat, I'm not talking about running at 2:00 in the afternoon. Like if it's a 30-degree day, you can still train, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning where it's still 20 plus degrees.
Let's not get heat stroke.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're a fucking psycho like me, don't run in the middle of the day. But if you can cop that heat, you'll have such an advantage. So it do you great.
Okay, cool. Now I know the answer to this question from Matt. I already know what he's going to say, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Ben wants to know, what's your advice for injuries? Should I go cold turkey or continue to train through them?
What's my answer, Georgia?
Matt's answer is, are you fucking kidding me? Don't run on an injury.
Yeah. I feel like this is more common sense. That's not like really a run coach question.
Look, I guess, no, don't train through an injury. I have done it, not because I wanted to and out of stubbornness, but because I had a race coming up. I don't advise it. It literally just makes it worse. I'm still dealing with an injury, and we're now in, October, and I got it in January. So don't be me. Just be smart.
Yeah. So like obviously there is a whole bunch of different circumstances. Number one, like how severe is the injury? Like if you just have a bit of tendinopathy or something, you can just reduce your volume and sort of get through that. The other part of it is like, Georgia, like, do you have a race come out that you just can't get out of? Like, it's like, hey, I'm a month out and I've done all this training and it's just a niggle and like it's uncomfortable, but I can get through it. So okay, like run through that. Then is like, are we doing structural damage? Like Georgia and I had to have a real conversation about, hey, after Sydney, like might not be able to run for a considerable amount of time. Is that a sacrifice you're willing to make? She was like, yep, it is. And I was like, okay, cool. So we understand it's going to suck. We understand it's going to hurt. We know there's no structural long-term damage, but in terms of your training, in terms of like what post-Sydney looks like, it's going to change quite a lot. Are you okay with that? Yep. All right, cool. So like we made that choice. So as long as you are making a decision, an educated decision, then you've just got to do what's right for you. But don't just do it out of stubbornness or because you think, I don't know, it makes you tough or you're worried about losing fitness or whatever the reason might be. Just don't do it for the wrong reason. Like look after your body as well.
Yeah, especially like, make sure you've had, as Matt said, like it depends on the injury. Like if you've got a stress fracture, long term going to do so much damage. But like tendinopathy is a type of injury, like I know from experience, is like you actually can't stop completely. It's not good for the tendons to not have any movement. So yeah, look, if you haven't already, get a physio and ask them, because I feel like there needs to be so much more context to this. Depends on your goals. But yeah, no, my short answer for Matt was always no, don't do it.
Yep. I mean, that's my default answer. Go see a physio.
Use your head.
Yep.
No, sorry, Ben. We don't mean to joke about your question. It's a fair question to ask, but that's just us.
Yeah.
Brooke has asked, how do you deal and cope with an injury and not feel left out? So, if I guess Brooke is asking because she's taking time off from running, how do you not feel left out? I'm going to jump in and just say, like, if you're part of a run club, still turn up to run club, turn up, have the coffee with all your friends so you're not feeling left out. You're not going to miss much on a 5K run or something like that. If it's socials, like just try not to go on socials. You're not going to feel left out if you're not seeing it. I guess is my only advice, because it'll pass. You know, the quicker you heal your injury, the quicker you'll be back out there with everyone.
Yep. And my only other thing I'd add to that is like just train something else. If you can't run, swim. If you can't run, cycle. Get on the elliptical. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many other things you can do that isn't running. I think just because you can't do one thing doesn't mean you can't do all things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know, there's always a solution to that.
There's a solution to every problem. It just depends on how much you want to dive into it.
Okay, cool. Meg wants to know, what's a good way to manage holiday running? I know you spoke recently about managing the festive season related to alcohol and prior to that attending events. I'm more wondering, what is a safe way to deload in a holiday period or on holidays whilst minimizing loss of fitness?
Okay, so number one, depends on how long you were going away for, because we know we don't lose any cardiovascular fitness for anything under 14 days. And that's including if you come to an absolute dead stop and don't do anything for 14 days, you won't lose any fitness. You'll lose conditioning. So like your first run back, it'll feel like, oh my God, this is impossible, even if it's a 10-minute run. We've all felt that. Even if you've had a few days off, that first run back, you're like, Jesus Christ, what's going on here? But you just need to sort of push through that. Honestly, like most of my guys, when they go on holidays, I don't even really program for them. I just say, go enjoy your holiday. Like, I feel like there's way more upside than that. Most people, they'll miss a session and then they'll feel guilty, and that'll do more damage from a mental perspective that they weren't adherent to their training program than just being given permission, quote unquote, permission to have the week off. So I would just encourage you to, as long as you're not doing anything longer than 2 weeks, 2 weeks of absolutely nothing, you'll be fine. Just that first 7 to 10 days back will suck a little bit.
Yeah, and Christmas, like the Christmas period is realistically less than 2 weeks anyway, unless you're, really taking a ton of time off. So, yeah, look, every time I do Christmas period, like as Matt spoke about in the last couple of episodes, he still trains like normal. But for me, I still go out and I'll just kind of do whatever I feel like. Sometimes I'll just go for a run and it's 16 Ks, or sometimes I'll go for a run, it's 5. I don't really worry about it. I just get out there and move my body, and yeah, if I can, I can. If I can't, don't worry about it.
Yeah. And the other thing too is, I think definitely majority of people don't realize this. If you have done a consistent amount of training throughout the year and you get to that festive period, the amount of training you actually have to do. So let's say you're just going to take longer than that 2 weeks off. Let's say you're going to take a month off. The amount of training you actually have to do to not lose fitness, it'd be like a 5K every third day. Like, yeah, it's such a small amount of training to like minimize those losses. Obviously, if that extends out over 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, it's not the same. But yeah, the amount of physical exercise you have to do to keep that fitness level up is so small. I just don't see it being a problem for people.
Cool. Perfect answer. Love it. Sarah has asked, how do you get more confident on the bike when I haven't ridden much since I was a kid? Oh,
Time in the saddle.
Here, Sarah. I feel you here.
Yeah. No, this is just super easy. It's just time in the saddle. Like the more you do anything, the better you get at something. Like that's just how it works with everything. So just practice.
Practice. Yeah, I'm going to start practicing at Centennial because at least there's no like traffic lights or anything, or like traffic really. I'm super nervous about learning how to clip in and clip out.
Yeah, that'll be fine. The mistake people make is they try and clip in with why they're not moving, and then the bike just falls to the side.
That's all I can picture is myself just like,
It'll almost definitely happen to you. Almost definitely.
Oh, I feel like this is so, like, the funniest thing was the other day I was looking at helmets online. So I was like, oh, look at the reviews. And all the reviews was like, yeah, man, I got hit by a car and my head was fine. And I was like, holy crap.
That's a great review. Great review.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want, right? That's the whole point. But,
Can I give you one of my aero helmets just to make you look ridiculous?
Around Centennial with it.
Yep. While you're on a road bike, which is your head straight up.
Yeah, I know, like not even in TT position or anything, but honestly, the reviews are so funny. Some of them were like, yeah, I got T-boned, or I absolutely stacked it down this hill. And I was like, this is absolutely frightening.
Yeah. No.
Practice.
Yeah. Like, okay. If this is like super base stuff that you should already be doing if you're not confident on the bike, but going to a park, going to a place where there's not minimal traffic, where you don't have to stop, where you have heaps of room, where you're not going to be. And Georgia, we might need to like be strategic about when we go to Centennial Park because of the amount of riders that go through there. But like, if you're riding where there's a whole bunch of riders, like, they can be up on you quick. Like they might be doing 35, 40 kilometers an hour and you're doing 10, like that happens fast. So especially if you're like, don't know the road rules or the bike path rules, etc. So, just picking your environment, very, very important, making sure that you are in a safe space that isn't going to add to stress, anxiety, those sorts of things. And then just practice.
Do you just use your watch? I know you've obviously got the little screen on your bike, but do regular non-Ironmen use just like their watch to know how fast they're going? Or do you have to get one of those little screens?
No, like Garmin makes the little bike computer, so you've got a bike setting on your watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just hit bike. It's just GPS. It'll tell you the speed and how far you run. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
But again, like it'd be the exact same as when we started running. It was like, hey, Georgia, just go ride for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of consistent pedaling. Like, I don't care about how fast you go, how far you go, where you go. Just do not stop pedaling for 20 minutes. Okay. Perfect. Go do that.
Can't wait. Oh, gosh. It's going to be so funny. The next couple of questions are personal questions for Matt and I. So lock in. We love that. Question from another Meg. My question is around the experience of being coached and then choosing to go without one. What were the good parts and what were the bad parts? I think it's interesting given you guys speak to people who have coaches or aren't coached. Should a coach have a coach? This question's for you, Matt.
Yeah, massively. I've been coached my whole endurance career up until very, very recently. And chances are after I go through this training block, and I'm just doing this as a self-experiment, a self-coach to see if I'm capable of it and put some of my ideas and theories out there into the world and test them. I think I'm the best guinea pig for that. And after that, I'll probably go to another coach and find out about that. I have a business coach. I have a nutrition coach. I work with Lauren. So like, I am a huge fan, and this is something I just can't wrap my head around, is like, pay for information. Like if someone knows how to get you to your goal, go and fucking learn from them. Like doesn't have to be a running coach. It could be like, we pay for uni professors, you pay for school teachers, you pay for someone to teach you how to do a skill like jiu-jitsu or martial arts, or if you want to learn to paint, you're paying to paint. It's the exact same thing. If they have a skill you want to learn, pay them, go learn that skill. Like I am such a fan of just paying money. I don't care how much it costs. I just want to learn it, get really, really good at it, and be able to go and do it myself. So I think if you want to do something and do it seriously, you should consider a coach no matter what it is.
How has it been not having a coach? What are the good parts and like what's the not so good parts?
The good parts is no one knows me better than me. So like I know like legitimately if I'm tired, I know legitimately if I could have pushed more, what I have left in the tank, etc. The bad parts is no one knows me better than me, so I know when I'm lying. Yeah. So
can't bullshit yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So like, and it's interesting. A lot of the times I'll program, and like I could write someone's program for a week in 5 minutes, like without putting much thought into, just knock it out, boom. Like that's a great week of programming. Sometimes I'll sit there with mine. I'll sit there for 15 minutes, but like I got no idea what to do.
Yeah.
And I'll be in the exact same training block, like Kosci 100. Me and my mate Dave are doing it. If I wanted to, I could copy and paste his week of training, put it in, and be like, "Yep, no worries. Like that'll do." And I'll just sit there and be like, "I don't know what to do. I'm clueless." So like, you are so much harder, and you think about it so much more when it's yourself. But when it's an unbiased thing, or someone's paying you to do something, paying for a service, you're like, "Yep, this is exactly what they need. I can see that. I can see the progression A, B, and C." Yeah. So it's like dancing with the devil.
Is it hard to motivate yourself, like, or do you stick to the training plan? If you've written it, are you sticking to it, or are you a bit like, coach won't mind?
When I first started, I was really not strict and I was just like
Yeah.
a bit all over the shop. Now I feel like I found a really good groove and like I'm relatively adherent. So I'd say no more than anyone else, that 80 to 90%. Like I get my sessions done.
Mm.
And if I need to move something, I move something, but that's no different to any other athlete.
Yeah.
So I would say it's just, do you know what? It's been really good because it forces myself to like be extremely honest and be like, why am I moving this session or why am I not doing this session? And I actually have to like, I can't just give myself the bullshit answer. Like a lot of times if an athlete moves their session and they message me and say, I can't train today, they'd be like, I just got caught up at work. And like that's, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, doesn't matter. But like that's just the first answer. I can't push back and be like, what really happened? But like if I say that to myself, I'm like, okay, like what really happened, Matt? Like why didn't you prioritize this? And like it's almost like a mini therapy session every day, which is, it can be quite exhausting as well.
Yeah, it would. I don't think I would do very well.
I wouldn't recommend it. It's very, it is very difficult. You question everything, you doubt everything. I'm literally only doing this for the next 2 to 3 races, which would be 2 100Ks and a Ironman, which hopefully I'll break 10 hours in. And then I will probably look for a coach in whatever I decide to pursue.
Cool. How exciting. We have 2 more questions, guys. I know there's been a lot, but these last 2 are really fun. So Jimmy has asked, who are both of your biggest influences or role models when it comes to running and Ironman?
Take it away, Georgia.
Look, he wrote influencers or like as in like an influencer, but
no, I think he just means like
I think he means
Kipchoge
like,
could be your influence. Like who motivates you, who drives you, why do you do it?
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to give you both because I don't think Jimmy wants to know what influencers I love. I speak about her a lot, but I love Philly Bowden. I think she's absolutely amazing. I love how she can kind of get up there and like do what the guys do. She's up there. She wants to beat the boys. Like that's her whole thing. And I love that she's super confident in herself. I really aspire to be like her one day. I think that's really, really cool. I just generally really like her content. I think as an elite runner, she really shows all the highs and lows, and I find that really inspiring. For the girls listening, I love Lucy Georgia as an influencer. She actually gets after lots of different things. Like she does an Ironman 17.3 and then she'll be into cycling and then she does swimming or running. And I just love that she doesn't take it super seriously and she just does it for fun. And I think we all need to do more of that. How about you, Matt?
Answer. I wouldn't say I necessarily have a specific sport influencer or influence.
Yeah.
How
about what's his name who just won the World Championships in triathlon? That was so cool. He's the first guy to bring the title home for Australia since 2005.
Hauser.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. I mean,
you follow him.
Yeah, I follow Matt, but like, I wouldn't say I don't really care about him. Like, if I'm, I just like I don't follow his content. I don't follow his content. I don't follow the Olympic distance. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, but like, I don't wake up and check his profile.
Okay, fair enough. Yep.
I would say for triathlon, Matt Burton.
Okay, yep.
He's a triathlete out of WA. He's a father of 2. He was actually the very, very first pro triathlete I interviewed on my original podcast when I'd done one Ironman. I think he won it that year or came second. Can't remember. But Ironman WA, that is. And just, you know, if you subbed me out with him, you wouldn't know in terms of the way we talk. Just like no bullshit, straight down the middle. He's like, I just want to work. And like I just really respect him. I really respect him. He doesn't post on social media, fucking doesn't care. He just does it for him. And I think he's an awesome dude. For running, I really don't have a running one. Maybe Cameron Haynes. Cameron Haynes he's an ultra runner and a bow hunter from America. He's like in his 50s and just like gets after it. He's in his 50s and he just PB'd his marathon running like I can't remember if it was, I think it was like 2:45, 2:43. And he's just a savage. And he's a big proponent of training for no performance. So he's like, I'm just training to be ready. Like I train every day because I don't know what's going to happen. And like,
To
that's
be ready.
That's what he said. Just like, I'm just training to be ready. And he carries this rock up a hill. It's like I think it's like a 12-kilo rock or something. And he wrote poser on it in Texter. So he's got some fucking demons. I think that's he's cool. But like,
sounds like it.
Yeah, but I just like the fact that I've followed him even before social media was a thing. Like I read his books and stuff. He's been running and training and bow hunting before social media was a thing. Like he just did it. Like that was what he did. And like, it's what he's always done. And he, runs 200-mile ultra marathons that go for multiple days. And I just like the fact that he is in his 50s and he's just like, I refuse to stop getting better. Like that's his whole mindset. So he just ran, like I said, he just ran a PB at Boston Marathon in the 2:40s. So I think that's really, really cool to be in your 50s and just be like, I'm not going to slow down. So
yeah, goes to show like age is just a number with that sort of thing. You can get better and better and better even if you are getting older.
Absolutely. And I think it's so much of its mindset, just like refusing to give in, just be like, no, like I will continue to do this until I can't, and he will continue to get better until he doesn't. So I think that's really cool.
Super cool. All right, guys, last question. Brooke has asked, what are our 2026 planned races or ones you're thinking of doing?
I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about this. Do you want to go first, Georgia?
Sure. Look, I've got the triathlon, the sprint triathlon in February. And then after that, I have nothing planned, which is so strange for me. I've promised myself I'm taking some time off from marathon running. I think the 5 in the 24 months that I did was a lot. So I didn't actually go into the ballot for Sydney, which was a very tough decision. It was hard to not do it. I was like, God, do I? But look, if I was to choose one race that I could do next year, I would do New York in November next year. So look, who knows what could happen? I know that's a lot of time off. That's a year off. So if I could do New York, that would be what I would choose. But other than that, I've not signed up to anything. I'm just going to see what happens.
Yeah, and an ad, but not an ad. Guys, next year, the Performance Project, we want to dominate Sydney Marathon.
I thought you were going to bring up Ironman WA. I was like, bruh.
No.
Please.
If you're listening to this and you want to do Sydney Marathon next year, obviously the ballot comes out in a week or two. Hit up the Performance Project. We want to have the largest running group at Sydney Marathon. We're going to put on a whole extra coach just to handle the Sydney Marathon athletes. Georgia's going to run the community aspect of it. We're going to have so many community events. We want to be the biggest at the 2026 Sydney Marathon. I'll be there. I'll hopefully be running. But yeah, hit us up if you're interested.
Yeah,
cool.
We've convinced a lot of people to do Sydney Marathon already, so join the team.
Yeah, we want to have over 50 athletes running, so it's a big ask. So if you're interested, get amongst it. It's never too early to start. I'd recommend getting that free fitness in, getting that summer training in. Cool. 2026 races.
All right, hit us, Matt. I feel like it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I got a lot. I got a big year.
Lock in.
I haven't announced my Ironman yet, so I won't do that yet. But I have an Ironman and 100K Ultra in the first 6 months of the year. So the 100K I'm doing is UTA, and I haven't decided which Ironman I'll do yet. If I get into Sydney Marathon, that'll be my next big race, which will be in August.
And then you can beat my official time, because currently, as it stands, official times, I am
as it
winning.
stands, yeah. You are the fastest marathon runner on this podcast.
Yes! I've been waiting to say that. I have not found a time.
I know you haven't worked it in. I thought it'd be like day one, but just so you know. You could do that in your intro. And I am the fastest marathon runner on this podcast.
Episode 42, you wait. It's coming.
That should just be the whole the whole intro. Episode 42. I am the fastest marathon runner on this episode. How you doing, Matt?
I gotta write that down so I don't forget it. All right, Matt, what else you got for us? Anything else?
Yeah, and then I want to do a last man standing.
Yep, you've spoken about that.
Yep. So that might happen before Sydney. There's one in June that I'm eyeing off. That also depends on how it sits up with Ironman. And then it'll be Ironman Western Australia. I've kind of made the decision that if my first Ironman of the year, if I don't break 10, I'm no longer going to pursue that goal as an all-in. I'm just going to wait for it to happen. So as long as I keep training, getting fitter, I will eventually break it. It just might not be that race.
Yeah.
So this one in the first half of the year will be a kind of all cards on the table sort of thing to break 10. And if that doesn't happen, then I will just do Ironman for fun, and eventually I'll break 10. If I do break 10, I'm confident I will, but it's just in terms of time, resources, the performance project, all those things, it's not, if I'm not getting better at the rate I need to, then it's not worth the time investment. But if I do break 10, I'll be going to Ironman Western Australia at the end of the year to qualify for the World Championships.
Yep, super cool. And which was just gone, actually. Kona was last week.
Yeah, in the last week or two. Yeah, I can't remember now.
Yeah, it looked amazing, although quite hot, I heard.
Yeah.
An Aussie girl I follow on social media, Grace, she qualified her first ever triathlon Ironman event. Yeah, she qualified in her age group and got insanely burnt. Like her arms are all blistered. She has to wear like proper sleeves and stuff now to protect her arms. So pretty hectic stuff.
Yeah, but I've got this weird goal of trying to go top 10 in the world for Ironman for my age group, and then top 10 in the 100K in Mont Blanc.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's kind of what I'm eyeballing over the next 3 years.
I was going to say, what's the timeline on those goals?
Yeah, they're my two big goals for the next 3 to 5 is to go top 10 in the world for both trail running, 100K, and Ironman.
Yeah, I think my goals for the next 5 years is definitely New York. That's a big one I really want to do. But I also want to get into Boston. Obviously, hopefully in the next 5 years I'll have kids. So it'd be kind of cool to be like I qualified for Boston as a mum. I think that's
Boston
awesome.
Ironman or?
No, stop it.
But I just noticed you didn't say Ironman in the 5-year goals.
Well, look.
I know. I just know. I feel like the listeners want that commitment in the next half decade that you're doing Ironman.
Can't give that commitment. I just want to leave you guys on your toes. You just never know when it's going to happen. I want to be like that guy that's like, I'm just ready all the time. And then, boom, I'm going to hit you with an Ironman.
But you're not ready.
Oh, I will be. But you just don't know when it's going to come.
I will know because I'm coaching you.
Fuck.
It's like, George's got a shitload of swimming and cycling that I haven't programmed for her.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I can't work it out.
Just doesn't upload it to Training Peaks. Just
legit.
Sneaky puts the sessions in. Why are you so tired, Georgia?
Yeah, imagine if you just didn't post your whole life on social media either. How would I ever work it out?
What will I do? Oh, I know. God, I've been thinking about that so much lately. Just about like, at the moment, I've got nothing really to train for. Like, obviously with a half marathon, but it's kind of like, I can't really make that into any kind of series because it's not like I'm chasing anything. I'm just running a half marathon in Wagga. And so I'm like, God, content's so boring at the moment. And then I'm like, no, Georgia, you're not doing an Ironman. Calm down.
Definitely don't do an Ironman for content. It's
no.
Yeah.
That's not on the cards at this stage. No, I would love to do New York first. I think that'd be really cool. Just start ticking off the world major marathons. Although, just a quick one. Did you see that Cape Town Marathon was cancelled? Oh, so Cape Town Marathon is doing the same thing Sydney did there in the candidacy period for an Abbott World Major Marathon. And so after this year, over the weekend, they were supposed to have the marathon. And after this year, they were pretty much a shoo-in for 2026 being a world major marathon like Sydney did. But they actually had to cancel the marathon yesterday because of like wind. And heaps of people were like, there's no wind in Cape Town at the moment. And then other people were like, yeah, it's really hectic. Like was a really bad storm. But now it's like, you don't know whether they're going to get this because they didn't get to do the marathon. Like they just fully cancelled the marathon. The whole thing just done.
Yeah, right.
So like all these people went to Cape Town to run the marathon and like trained a whole marathon training block for this marathon. And then they just cancelled it the day of. Just like, sorry, it's off.
Surely you just go for a run and just happen to run 42 kilometers. Like,
oh yeah, surely. If you really like, I guess like you don't need the medal, but if you trained it and you wanted to run the marathon in Cape Town, yeah, just go do it. Get after it.
There's a great Ironman in Cape Town.
Don't care.
Just give me the options.
Oh, actually, a company hit me up to be like, hey, do you want to run they were like, oh, do you want to run a marathon in Cape Town next year? And I was like, well, if it's a major marathon, I won't say no. But I don't know about that now.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's all our questions for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed all of these different perspectives from all of our listeners. I love that 50-50 of the questions were male and female, predominantly a lot of our listeners. Yeah, a lot of our listeners used to be female, and I feel like the guys are coming on board now. I'm seeing lots of followers that are men, which is awesome. I love that because it gives us a different perspective, which is really cool.
It's interesting. Like I feel like because in coaching, like where I know the performance approach is probably 85-90% female. It's like I think girls just are much more willing to take on advice and like listen and listen to things. Where like guys are like don't tell me what to do. I'm just going to go run.
I wonder why. It's like women are happy to accept help, and men are like, no, I don't need help.
Yeah, don't tell me where to go. I know the directions.
Yeah, literally. So 50% of the questions from you guys. So thank you so much.
So
we
good.
Love that. So good.
Calm the boys.
Them coming. Yes, exactly. Keep them coming. We do each of these episodes probably every 6 or so episodes. So if you've ever got a question to ask, don't worry. We will definitely answer it on the podcast for you at some stage. But thank you so much for listening to episode 40 of Beyond the Finish Line. Make sure you head to Instagram and follow us at beyondthefinishline_pod. Head to wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that's Spotify, YouTube, or iTunes. Make sure you like, subscribe, download, leave a review, leave a comment, tell your friends, share it on Instagram. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Hooroo.